saying?
He's Speaker of the House.
Yeah, okay, so it was a delegate then. She reorganized and split like government and elections out.
So polite.
Yeah, yeah, bureaucracy.
Oh, but you, oh, oh. I, oh, 5:30 now. Okay, one of the things that, first of all, I hope everyone has a great holiday, Christmas, enjoy Christmas and all the things that go with it, and food things, nice things about future. So we started a new year off with giving you packages that have things in them. So, if you would take them home, because we're starting the new year, so we have a whole thing again. There's not gonna be enough space in the home. So if you take those home, it's up to you. They don't make it home in time and leave it, please. I would rather you shred them rather than just put them in the trash or side to pick up. That's who we. So we will begin today then. Of course, you should have this sheet, do payroll on it. If you don't, if you like, please leave them, we got this sheet in next, when we're working in for the county, we look for the month that had the 3 pay periods, and I'll save you the information. It's about May and October. So you have 3 pay. So that's one extra for you. Okay, we are now ready to begin. We have a forum. We have no guests, so I don't have to welcome any guests. And so the first thing I would like to have is approval of the minutes, any questions, concerns, answers. Now, if somebody with me. And I approve the minutes. I'll second. All right, the minutes have been approved and seconded, and we'll move on to correspondence. We got a bit. Oh, I'm good. It's approved.
Yes.
All in favor?
Yeah.
Now, correspondence. Correspondence. Administrators report.
Administrators report, so not too much. Vacant positions, we are beginning to hire, we started in December, hiring for our seasonal positions, so, currently we have two recruiters in, election operations. Have them, they started in December. And now we're beginning to hire, technicians and warehouse staff, so forth. Trainers actually started today, so we'll be training with them for about a month before training classes actually start for elected judges. Excuse me. IT manager, as I shared with you all before, conducted those interviews and selected a candidate, and that candidate starts next Monday, the 11th. They have the 12th on here. And we say the 12th because the 11th was Monday and they'll be in orientation all day. But they start next week. The polling places, which is not on here, the polling places are scheduled to be approved by the states, I believe, on the 18th of this month. And once they are approved, we'll post them online and notify the voters who had polling place changes. We can notify them as well. This is not an administrative. All right, we can have 2 more, but I'm going to it. This is not part of the administrative report, but I did want to reiterate with you all, post office rule that took effect regarding postmark mail. And, they are suggesting that, people mail their ballots out a week before, because they're eliminating multiple daily trips, so.
Mm.
Yeah, they'll be postmarked, it's applied at the regional mailing hub versus when they receive it, so they can receive it, uh, travel overnight to get to this hub, and then once it gets to the hub, that's what it's postmarked. So,
So I'm missing a step. So what did the post do?
they eliminated multiple daily services
So
trips.
sometimes they would go to the post at like you put in your local box.
Yeah, they had times, like
Okay.
11
Pickup.
and, 3 and something else.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so now it's only gonna be one, well.
Well, I don't know how many,
Bellsville
they
explains
said
anyway,
they're
so-
eliminating,
Okay,
multiple trips.
okay.
So your main post office for a larger area is the one at the Capitol Heights.
Yeah,
Yeah, so the mail won't
Yeah,
be
with the
postmarked
So
until
we
it
pick
gets to
up
the
from Bowie
regional.
and all the other places and take there. We gotta do it 3 times a day.
Yeah.
So
This could very likely turn. I'm thinking this could very likely cause ballots to be received and postmarked after the election day, and put into the post office.
pretty much like it is today. They can have.
Yeah.
Right. So there are a couple of things that they're suggesting you could do. One, if you want a postmark for the day that you actually, submitted that mail, take it to a counter and get it manually postmarked,
I do that.
or you can do certified or registered mail.
Go inside the post office.
No, I got that. I'm just thinking, are we depending upon everyone to magically know that the post office has done this? Like you take it upon yourself, notify
Well,
all voters. But this,
Well,
I'm
because
sure when it's in the ballot that they'll have something to.
states, but
Well, the can't do anything about it until we get information. They have to have any
right.
information.
well, it's not until June that this is a problem. Not June. Figure out.
Maybe it could be a blurred and.
Yeah, we can put it on our
Correspondence.
website or something,
Yeah, that's a
definitely
good
to
idea.
let people know. But they are suggesting if you're gonna mail it regular mail, that you should do it at least a week in advance.
That at least guarantee that there's post.
The other option again, you said county post day, certified mail or.
Certified or registered
Hmm.
mail.
And if it also go inside.
Yeah, that's to the counter. Yeah. Mhm.
I mean, if you're gonna put it in the post office, it's just as easy really to go to a drop.
That's where they have it from.
They're not picking them up from the drop off?
No, I didn't say that. I said they won't pick it. Still guaranteed that once they pick them up from the drop box and take them inside.
No, she's talking about our Dropbox.
Oh,
Yeah.
I thought you meant.
Yeah, not, just bypass the post office.
Yeah.
You know, just bypass the post
Right,
office.
why are we even dealing with that? You know, they supposed to put them in the
Well,
drop
some
box.
people.
No.
Go to the post office. That's
This
fine.
is wasting our time.
So that is my administrative. But going back, we do have, 2 correspondence that you all need to, actually vote on. So 2 people have submitted, requests to have their voter information, set to be confidential. And I'm pass this around, I'm not gonna say the person's name because we are live streaming. And the first person, their reasoning for wanting to have their voter record and personal information confidential is because they are a transgender woman, vulnerable population. They request the confidentiality for safety risks associated with exposure. So you all need to vote to deny or approve this person's request to have their voter record.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
So, and I was looking around so that I could make reference to something. On the front cover of the application, the voter registration application, there is a box on the right corner, and it talks about if you want to keep your information confidential, you can check that box off, and so therefore, your information won't be public.
That's
It
not
won't.
true.
It's not.
I don't know.
No, that's not the one.
No. The only way you can, for, for various confidential reasons, you know, for instance, we as the board, we as staff members of Board of Elections, I think our information should be confidential. It's not because we don't have a good reason for it not to be confidential. So there is a confidentiality request form that you have to complete if you want your information to be confidential.
So I guess when I make a reference to that for protective, for,
I don't know.
With the application.
can I step out for a second to go?
Oh, so I just wanted to, I never heard this before, I'm learning something new. So I want to go to legal, so he could please explain the
Yeah,
precedent
what
for
does the
this.
state say we can do?
Yeah,
The state says we have to vote on it and approve it or deny it.
But then they don't give us any criteria, they just say it's up to us?
yeah.
That's easy.
Could you give us the legal?
Well, as far as I know, and I need to look into that
Oh.
because this is new for me as well, but as I understand it, everything is public and this, but if there is a rational reason
Oh.
for them to be able to keep it on it, then you can do it.
Okay.
But I'm not, whether this rises to the standard or not, I'm not sure.
Right.
So in their request, did they cite a statute or law or anything? Oh.
No, this is just, it's non-disclosure of personal information for personal safety.
That's okay.
And it says disclosure of your residential address. Your telephone number possesses a threat to your safety or is likely to lead to an unwarranted or serious invasion of privacy. So they are requesting that their information be,
They just sort of check the box saying, this is the reason.
well,
They're not disclosing.
they disclosed why they wanted to.
Oh, that's what I was.
Yeah, they disclosed it. It is they're transgender. They actually submitted,
It's a good reason for not.
yeah, they submitted the name change, order from court. And, they pretty much said that they're a transgender woman, member of a vulnerable population, and request this confidentiality for safety risks associated with exposure. Oh, sorry, with exposed PI, yes, personal information. Yeah, yes.
Again, so I'm clear, there's no guidance for us on what will determine,
No.
no guidance for us to follow to say, okay, this falls within that.
You can make your request based on what your intent is.
Right. And so when we think about guidance, looking at this one, we have another one as well, which you'll see, is going to be a little trickier. So I started with the good one first. So again, you all need to vote.
Do we have to vote on, because there's a lot of people that
Well,
have
they,
problems.
But they
but no, they
Voting on the ones that are asking us.
right, we just have to vote on these two that have requested.
You don't request it, then you don't.
Well,
vote on it.
but
Right.
see the lot in the system before.
And they probably, did the same thing or requested it. I don't know if the state has changed it because we've never
Until
received
it
any of
becomes a
these.
law, then you have to take each one individually.
Right.
It's not a
Okay.
law that says that they can do this.
Mm.
So you have to take it as a request.
Yeah.
And if you want it to become a law, then you need to talk to the Maryland General.
No, when I was working, we knew which
Yeah.
ones were private.
Mhm.
You know, this is the first time I knew that we had to vote on.
Yeah.
But,
First time.
anyone can say they want the address.
So how do they mark it in the system so that you know, like, if someone were to run a report, how would the system know to
So
log
it's
it?
marked as,
Different field there?
yeah,
You know,
yeah. So you're not listed on any somebody who seeks a registration list or information for candidate filing. I mean, candidate, they're not listed on those lists.
I mean, I've seen a lot of different requests.
Mhm.
Very rarely is the request denied based on,
Right.
based on the request, I guess. Generally, unless you are above age, of the correct age and you don't have a specific kind of criminal background, you're allowed to vote.
Yeah.
But this one took an extra step and, you know,
And I can't, for purposes of discussion, I don't see how it would hurt to have the information not disclosed. I mean,
Not.
I can't see
Oh, not.
not disclosed, right? I can't
Yeah.
see why anybody would have a need for that, like a government official or somebody would have a need for that would not be, that we would harm their position by doing it. And I guess even then they could, if they really needed it, they could get a court order to get it released or something.
it gets to the point we have to get court orders to vote. I think that,
Yeah, not so much vote, but just the information.
Yeah, I'm saying, not to get a court order to release it, but I can't see that why we would not want to let them be confidential. I can see how it would be awkward and you just don't want to go there.
Yeah.
What exactly are they asking to be confidential? Just their
Their voter
that
information.
certain,
Their voter
Checkbox?
information. No, their voter
In its entirety.
in its entirety.
In its
That
entirety.
they are
So the
registered.
person doesn't exist.
Their address, their phone number.
but
Was it-
somehow it indicates that the person did vote.
They have a voter ID and everything. So they are registered.
The only thing, it seems to me the only practical outcome is she won't get a lot of crap in the mail.
From either party, unless she tells them.
Oh, no, Arthur had.
I was looking for, maybe some guidelines. I'm troubled by being able to just make the request because I'm starting to think, okay, I'm in a divorce situation. I don't want to know I don't want my spouse to know where I am or what's going on with ICE. I don't want my name
Right.
out there.
Right.
There's so many different reasons.
Yeah, and that's, this is why I started with this one first. The other one, it's basically, so this one has non-disclosure of personal information for safety, for personnel safety, for personal safety,
now that's what you took.
but it's nothing else with it.
Yeah, no.
So you have no logical reason of why you want this
So
done.
you have to remind that it could be 1,000.
Exactly. So do you approve this one? Do
No,
you,
I wouldn't.
deny this one,
Yeah.
approve that one, yes.
Record basis.
Mhm.
I can't understand why.
Hold on,
because-
Lisa had it.
When it comes to, how does this impact our, the Board of Election processes? Right? If they are, the information is private, does it impact any voting, any registration, any
No.
system of that?
So they can still, it doesn't affect anything. They can still vote. They can go to the poll. They can,
They'll still be in the poll book.
yeah, they'll still be on the poll book. It's just that when, you know how you verify information, they would not be asked that information. Because they can't verify it because even the election judge at the poll book does not have their information to verify because it's private. So it would just be what's your name.
So would they have to vote just provisional and you process it afterwards, or?
They can vote regular.
She said, it's there.
Yeah.
If somebody called and said, can you tell me if Roberta Deegan is registered to vote and what address she is?
Yeah, you cannot, we can't give you that information. And anybody who requests a list, in a jurisdiction or a total voter registration list, their information just wouldn't be on it.
Would their name be there? Nothing.
Nothing.
But that's a good point you made. A lot of felons, some people don't want to vote because they think we will let them know where they live. So that's another issue.
Yeah, but so like I said, we have two. One has no supporting information as to why they want this confidential. This one does.
Would there be a reason why we would deny a request?
I would say,
If it doesn't impact their voting, is there a reason we would deny any request?
well,
I think just to do due diligence. They
Yeah,
ought to have a
that's what
reason.
right. I think due diligence. Like I said, we have two, requests here. One clearly states why they are in fear of having their information publicized. This person just wants it private.
Do they need a reason?
I think that should have one.
That's my question, do they need a reason? If it
Well,
doesn't
they're supposed
impact,
to vote on it.
if it doesn't impact voting
Mhm.
and any of our systems, do, you know, what would be our reason for not letting someone vote? Not letting someone, have their information private? Is it just because they didn't put down a reason? Do we go back and tell them, hey, you
I
didn't?
mean, they
put down a
could,
reason?
right, we could definitely say this was denied because there's no supporting documentation or it wasn't, you know, there's no information as to why you want this. Now, can they resubmit it? And then do their due diligence and give us the reason why? Sure. And then we can come back and you all can vote on it again. I think because the Board of Elections, this information is public. This is the reason why these forms are so important, you know, as to why you want your information. And we'll know.
Them identifying a reason
Mhm.
with supporting documents is more covering the Board of Elections process. It's not showing like, oh, we're just doing this.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
You come up with a lot of things in that area. I'm sorry, you would.
Go ahead, yeah, you can go.
They go ahead.
I'm sorry, I saw your hand.
Fine, I know that political vision is a beast.
You may say something, that I'm.
No, go ahead.
Then I would be, maybe, you may
That's,
answer
that's
my
totally,
question.
no, because I was thinking, I'm just gonna play the devil's advocate.
I just can't figure out what is.
Said I could go, but see, that's enough for.
Help herself. That's
I know,
okay.
I know that. But no, go ahead.
I just can't see what is so difficult about the request. A lot of people don't wanna be not knowing what.
I mean, honestly, like I said, I think our information
You
should be.
can tell me, I got a group of people around telling me.
Yeah, and it's not.
So basically, I was gonna play devil's advocate, because we don't have a precedent for none of this,
Right.
we don't need a reason. Anybody can request it, and so there's law.
Anybody can request it, yeah.
I think it's,
I.
it's not that I think it's a request.
I vote both of them.
I
Yes.
think the reason for the request is kind of strange.
I don't think, in this climate, I don't think so.
Right.
This is my personal
exactly.
opinion. I don't think the request is strange,
Mm-mm.
not in this climate.
Well, the problem I have with it, Arletta, to follow up on what you said.
Yes, ma'am.
If the state board tells us that we should approve it, well, then that to me means that we should be looking at it for reasonableness or something, you know, that we should have some kind of criteria. They're not telling us what criteria to use, but we should be making an informed decision. Yes, we approve it, or no, we don't. And so if we just rubber stamp everything, then why even ask us to approve it? Just say, you can request it and it'll be automatically granted. I think
But that
the
was- that
state
was
board
the
passed the bus.
reason
They
for my
don't.
question is to have some type of process.
There doesn't seem to be anything in the roles in any way, shape, or form that will identify the person's sexual preference at all, right?
Well, no, but.
Well, no, it's not it's not the identification of their sexual preference, it's the fact that they used to be this and now they're this,
No, I
and
know
somebody
that.
may be, somebody may, their hate groups out there.
Yeah, there could be
You know?
people out there that know her.
Right,
And then but they don't know where she lives.
Right.
Or him, which
Yeah.
way it is. But, so they say, I know, I'll find out from the Board of Elections.
get a voter list,
Well,
yeah.
you sure think that we're so important to this all that, I think it goes to a lawyer somewhere and get that answer too. I mean.
I agree, but, they've been a diff.
Just have a question. How do they even know where to get that form?
It's on the state
Some
website.
states think-
There you go. It's on the application too.
Mm-hmm.
It is on the application.
If it's on the application, then that tells you that somebody's asked the question before. If you just don't sit around and pick up, oh, I got a great idea, put it on the paper now, good.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to me that should we have criteria?
Oh, yeah, this is the
Against-
form. This is the form that they submitted.
Okay, I knew it triggered me, but I wasn't, I wanted to be sure. You know what I mean? Like, come on, I need to be sure I had my right language.
I thought you
Right.
were saying like the actual voter application form
It
had,
is, that's on the front, it's on the front page of it.
but this isn't the application.
It's on, this is the front, well,
That's a direct.
That's the instruction.
right, this is
Right.
on the
I see what you're saying. I thought you were
Yeah.
saying the
So it gives
application
a box
itself.
on the
Yeah,
actual
yeah,
form.
yeah,
I
on
thought
the
it was like
actual
a-
form.
So now,
Before
it's
you-
like, the instructions,
Yeah.
to go over this in training.
Yeah,
And so that's what triggered my mind. I was like, wait a minute, it's a form they filled out.
yeah.
And so then I just had the form printed so that you go out to see, but I didn't want to distribute.
And like I said, I can definitely pay.
And
Yeah.
Exhibit say, does it give
This
some,
form
you got,
dated through 2025. So I think this all came about when we had all of that turmoil about this person who's
That's
like.
why I just want to say it out loud.
Prince George's and
I
Iowa.
have mine. I only think, not that I can.
And all the cases about you have to release the information. And that's probably.
Well, they found some hidden stuff.
But the only reason.
So do you need a reason? My thing is on here, do you need a reason? That's all I'm looking for.
It doesn't really give specific
That's why I
language.
went when I-
But again, like.
Your change of your, you know.
If you want it or don't.
Well, just period, because the other one is still requested.
And your information can be.
That's how, the other one is just asking this to be taken off. They don't give a reason.
Well, don't you remember, I guess, man.
I don't know, do you?
There was a 2000 noisy.
My question is, if we have no standards,
Yes,
no
ma'am.
standards at all, and all of a sudden, I'm not, this sounds, if all of a sudden this person says, hey, I was a test case for this and they approved it, and all of a sudden we get 300, 400, 500 requests for confidential things, then are we gonna have 5 minutes times 300?
Well, that's why I posed the question that I asked.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and, you know, I buy the records, and I look at the records, I have a campaign management system that I've written, okay? And it's used for that purpose, but I cannot, and I'm thinking of all the people that have used my system in one form or another from about 2008 on. If there ever was a question about, oh, there's that person. I cannot.
Yeah, but that's not your purpose.
No. What?
You know, that's not your purpose. That's not your purpose or the purpose or the people that you associated with. That's not their purpose. But you don't know everybody's.
That's true. I'm not arguing that.
Requested information.
My question is, what happens if next meeting we get 50, and then the meeting after that we get 100, and the meeting after that we get 200? Then what?
Then
Then we go to the state and have them give us some guidance.
Well,
You know, but I don't want to make decisions based on what might happen. Let's just talk about these two. Yes.
Well, I think, you know, because there is no guidance.
Felicia's trying to say a word.
well, I mean, it would seem to me that
Hold on, Felicia had a question.
You know, partly to your question too, partly of asking, does it matter, is because if whether or not they have a supporting document, then we can batch approve. If we get 300 and the forms are filled out correctly, if it doesn't matter if they have a supporting document, we can batch it together, right? And say we're approving.
Approving all of them, because they
Right.
submitted them.
Right. So that's a thought pattern that I'm trying to figure out. But once again, we don't have any
Right.
rules or guidance.
Well, let me point out, we might have a little bit of guidance, because if you look at I'm looking at the actual request that's on this form too. It says, complete and sign the form, attach supporting documents, and return them to the election office. So on the request form itself, it implies that there should be some kind of documentation. And then when we were talking about public officials and getting it, on the second page where they sign it, they say, I acknowledge that notwithstanding approval of the request for confidentiality, information will be made available to the jury commissioner, public officials as required by law, and as otherwise required by subpoena or other court order. Furthermore, I waive my right of action against the state, the county, the state board of elections, the local board of elections, or their employees for failing to keep the information confidential. So it does make allowance for people that have a professional need to know that they can get it. And it also implies that there would be some kind of supporting documentation, because the categories that they give you for asking, to have your information maintained confidential is person being threatened, victim or witness of a felony, law enforcement personnel, member of state or federal judiciary, and one for public safety. And so, and the one for public safety says disclosure of your address or phone number poses a threat to your safety or is likely to lead to an unwarranted and serious invasion of privacy. So I think that does give us a little bit of criteria to judge.
That's true, that's true.
I'm good. I don't need to see it. I already made my decision.
Does this help you at all?
It does, because this is a state form, they cite the section, they give, the categories which they can consider. You have to have backup documentation in there. Now, this first one doesn't necessarily fit into, category, although I assume they were saying it because of, category 1, person being
Right.
threatened.
Yeah.
But, so, yeah, so this, you know, and you have to report to the local county board, which is you got. So,
And
back
again,
to the
with,
beginning, it said that's what,
That's the form you got.
yes.
again,
It
so
says-
this was the gate,
You know,
because there's no
There's
supporting
no supporting
documentation.
document. Exactly, exactly.
Well, they had, that's,
Yeah, they picked the second category.
What? She checkers?
Yeah, they-
Check a category?
Yeah, they picked the second category, they just don't have a supporting document.
See, what they need to do is explain why it poses a threat to your
Yeah, it would
safety
seem to me.
or will lead to a serious invasion of privacy.
And then the question is, how do we determine whether or not it's the
Yeah.
answer is, I don't know.
Well, I don't think we can determine the reason they give us. the reasonable. I think that's our opinion. So I don't think we need to delve that far into, is their reason legitimate enough for us to prove it or not? The fact that they have their.
They meet the
documentation,
criteria.
They meet the criteria,
Criteria.
yeah.
So any box check means, yeah.
Well,
That, I said they have the document, the supporting documentation.
Yeah, but.
To back up
well,
their
yeah.
claim. I didn't just say check the box.
Yeah, I meant to say, and I didn't, with backup.
because like for non-disclosure, it's a threat to your safety or lead to an unwarranted or serious invasion of privacy. So if you just check non-disclosure and say, I don't want anybody to know where I live, that's really not a good reason.
Exactly.
But if you say, my former boyfriend is looking for me, or my, I know there's a lot of gang activity around here and I don't want them to know or something. I mean, that,
Then we get into a matter of opinion.
right, but if we give them the benefit of the doubt, I mean, you're right.
That's what I said in the very beginning. Get rid of all, we didn't need all of it, give them the benefit of the doubt.
But I think you still have to have some evidence that you're giving them the benefit of a doubt on. If they don't tell you anything,
It seems like to me, support the documentation does that.
that does.
Right.
And that's, so I'm saying, they don't give the form and just check a box, but if we have supporting documentation that,
And no matter how much documentation we have or not have, there's certain groups of people or certain people, maybe it's 1 or maybe it's 2, maybe it's 130,000. Gonna have their own opinion that this supporting documentation is not adequate. So that's got to be fair to what people's request. That's all I ask.
no, I think you're right.
And I don't think it's such a difficult task, to be fair.
Now, I'm gonna presume that the person, let's say, the person in the first category, we vote in favor of keeping the
Yes.
document, keeping it in that place. There is still probably only about 1,000% chance that she's gonna get crap in the mail, or he, whomever, gonna get crap in the mail. What?
That's not our problem.
That's
No, I get you, get that.
It's just
So
all
I'm
up on the
hoping
table.
this,
She made a request. Let's stick to her request, not your
Okay.
interpretation of her request.
okay,
okay, let's vote.
So, it's a motion.
Decided.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think Terry wants to make a motion for you.
Yes, I do.
She's gonna
Yes, I
make a
do.
motion for you.
So I missed part of the discussion, however, I just feel based on having that confidentiality statement submitted, that I think we should honor both requests.
Well, this one doesn't
We
have
haven't
supporting
seen that.
documentation.
They
That's
have-
what I'm saying.
That's what we can't, you can't,
So she
because
makes it, you make a
you
motion.
have to,
Based on this
Y'all
first
can-
request, we.
This is, you want to approve this information, is as subjective as anything else that you read as subjective, not objective.
but I'm just saying for this one, the form says they need supporting documentation. This doesn't have that. They just want us to,
If you look at the, under directions B, it says, sign the form, attach supporting documents, and return them to the election office.
So y'all can vote me down.
Well, it does not say attach any requirements.
Right.
It says attach, if you want to attach something. It doesn't say that the supporting documents.
But it doesn't say attach any supporting
It
documents.
just says attach supporting documents, but that doesn't mean attach mandatory supporting documents. It just says attach, it's just
But it
giving you a
doesn't say attach
chance.
supporting documents, if any, either.
It's a-
Just giving you a chance to
If
attach.
you have it, attach supporting, if you have it.
So what
They
is the
have-
rule if we vote? Is it a majority rule, or if one person says no?
No, it's the majority of the vote.
Okay.
Are you ready for
And you need to
it?
vote.
Do it one at a time.
Yeah. Yeah, we need to do it one
One
at
at
a
a
time.
time.
so for the, candidate, the voter with the document.
So I have to amend my motion.
Oh, you,
Oh, did you make one yet?
I did.
yeah,
I don't think
It
that
was a second.
I tried.
I'll do it again, Sherry.
Yeah, she did make an amendment. She did make a motion to approve both of them.
But it was a second.
And so we're gonna amend it to just approve the first one.
Wait.
Well, no,
Let's
we're
not
voting on
honor
the
this
first one.
vote, because that's how I want to vote.
I'm sorry.
So I guess I have to amend the motion so that we take them separately.
Mhm.
So the first one, is that the one with the documentation?
Yes.
Okay, so I offer the motion for us to honor the request from the confidentiality statement.
In close.
No.
Hey, but I'm just a little frustrated, but go ahead. All opposed, or whatever you.
So now we go to.
All in favor?
Can I see the second one?
Yeah, it's just their name on
Is
it.
this the form?
It's just the name and signature. It's just a name and signature.
Okay.
And for relevant information, to my request, they have election officials. I don't know what that means.
Who's putting that again?
Okay,
On the
so-
second page for relevant information to my request, it has election officials on it. I don't know what that means.
Good.
Here,
Are you sure you can find this person in the role?
Is it,
Terry's talking.
is it a way that we can contact the voters to ask them for additional information so that their submission can fall in line with the guidance of the form? Maybe they need
Mike,
guidance on how to request that, because if they didn't submit the appropriate information, maybe they didn't understand it.
Right, so my suggestion, my thought is to, you know how they dismiss the case without prejudice? So you deny it, with the stipulation that this person will be contacted, and let them know that it was denied because they didn't have supporting documentation, and they can resubmit with that documentation and it will be reviewed again.
Rather than
Can I see
deny it, could we just defer it to the
Mike,
next
can I see
meeting?
the application?
And the one thing I'm wondering, where she says,
the very one,
is
see that.
this person by any chance an election judge? So that could be, she could be meaning I'm an election official and I don't want my name and address on
And
it.
if that's the case, then
So then she's got a reason.
no. If we as election officials cannot be confidential, why should an election judge?
But that's good.
Confidential?
For training, that's good.
Yeah.
Maybe check to see if she, if that.
So we can table that one?
Yeah, we can table that. I don't think we need to
I
vote.
think you should vote.
But if we needed to verify that if they are an elected official, then they need to be verified.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it back to,
One person at a time, here.
Maintenance tips. Okay.
So it doesn't say you have to justify your justified situation.
Yes.
So I would like to offer,
You don't have to turn it.
We're gonna burn what?
I'd like to offer a motion for us to defer a decision on that until we can check to see. So it may be that they are in line with the recommendation or the request. And so then they will be okay.
They should discuss it further, because why would we hold that up? They submitted what they're supposed to submit.
Right.
Why is it us going into their business further? And if I'm asking you for.
Because of the rationale that they
But
gave.
because of the confidentiality, I don't want to.
No, because of the reason, they
But the
gave.
reason we can't, they filled out the form, it's not on us to say.
But it says if it's an election official, then they can have it as
Be interpreted.
I know, so that's what they do.
But that's what they got, but they want to just verify. That's
But why do we have to verify? All they have to do is just fill out the form. Why we
All
right.
verify?
So,
It says,
Madam
please
President,
check the applicable category and attach relevant information.
No, that doesn't seem.
you had a motion and you didn't, and you had discussion without a second, so it's like, it's out of order. So I just wanna,
But you still had discussion.
but you have a discussion before, the motion, before discussion followed, so, I mean, it's just, she wants to get order back in here. You know, gotta decide what you wanna do.
We want order?
I still think we should defer it to the next meeting to give Wendy time to find out if this person is an election person at a precinct.
But do we need
The
to know
second one,
that?
Mike.
Why do we need to know that? They filled out their form.
I go on forms and leave some things out, so.
I say in the
I
motion.
might get the wrong thing in.
I don't want y'all to know
I
what,
forgot to do
what about
something.
election judge, chief judge, and what.
See, so, okay,
Why do you say
what they're trying to say, if you say you're an election official, what does that mean? So, and I understand what you're saying, they filled out the form, we should take it as is and vote on it. However, it could be they, we, like B said, you fill out documentation all the time and miss. So we go back to this person and say, hey, you fill out this form, but you need a supporting document to go with it. Or we look at this record to see if she's an election judge and maybe that's why she filled out the form, then it would be denied anyway.
Well,
It says,
that I think we should talk about, because what if yes, we all have to disclose it, but we're all in a safe place, right?
Are we?
In a school with all the people coming in and feel like someone's gonna come and get.
If you all be so kind as when you want to speak, let me know so I can, okay. Legal.
Madam President, this requires an attachment to make. If they did not have supplemental documentation, then they did not meet the criteria. So you can either decide to vote to defer and go back, or you really have to vote to deny because they did not meet the criteria.
So.
do you see required to
Wait a
vote
minute.
outside?
I do see it.
The question, the comments were directed at me, and I'd like to respond to you. In this case, why you didn't give me another alternative that I would like to suggest, and that is, why not let this person know that the reason this would not pass snuff test, that was because there was not proper documentation. I think the person doesn't say if you don't have a proper documentation that we won't consider it.
That's fine. You can vote it like that. That's fine.
I just don't think you just throw somebody's trying to vote. And what you want to do is find every kind of thing that you can to say, we don't want your vote because something must be wrong with you because you don't look like the rest of us. You
Well,
don't act like the rest of
deferring it would allow time to go back and do that. Or, so again, you can deny it. Just because you deny it doesn't mean it's
They
denied
can
permanently.
resubmit.
Yeah, they can resubmit.
Well, I don't know how, if I get a letter in the mail that said denied, but I'm saying you can resubmit, then I'm not gonna resubmit. So
Understood.
then you stop the person from voting who may have been the person, that could have made the difference in something.
Well, this wouldn't be a letter in the mail. I'm most certain that record maintenance will reach out to them and let them know what the board was. So in the event that you all do decide to even deny this, we would still reach out to this person to let them know it was denied and why. And then at that time, they can resubmit if they wanted to.
And even if it's denied, they still stay on the voter roll. They would have to call and say, I cancel my registration.
Yeah, I mean, either way,
Keep it up.
they're a voter. and they're- they're one of them.
But there was a motion to defer with a second.
We need
Yeah.
a second.
Two seconds.
I would like to pin.
So my motion was for us to defer so that we can, check the status
Of the second.
of the second request.
And who, second?
Bobby
Not
did.
yet.
Okay. All in favor? Opposed? Opposed.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then you got next.
That is, no.
Why are you asking the question? It's over with.
No, I'm asking, is now the time to
I know, right?
recognize our guests?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if now is the time or not.
Say that again, I'm sorry, I didn't hear.
I'm thinking of the people on the phone, and I was
That
saying
you
on the
were.
thing.
You wanna stand up and tell us who you are?
I was saying, should we recognize our
I am.
guests?
Hey,
I recognize our guest that's here.
I was gonna do it later.
right.
My name is Bonnie Sermons and I work with the sorority and we do lots of voter registration for the Board of Election. And I just was curious, we used to have somebody cover all your meetings and then it looked like you were only in company and haven't had an opportunity to get. So.
You wanna tell us the story?
Well, that was a good thing.
Well,
Yeah. But I'm here really on my own.
yeah.
It doesn't matter. They're welcome to. Yeah. That's it. Any more questions, answers? Brian, you had a question.
Well, I didn't think one would be denied.
Well, I know you feel it.
That, I think,
Anybody else?
I'm good.
Okay. Move on. When did you get anything that you had up to date on?
Yeah, no, we're good.
One
160, we, when we did the renovation, for 115A, the plan was to do renovations for 160 as well. However, when they finished this timeframe for them to do that, we were going into the election in 24. So it really got stalled and then, Demi took the lead on this to say, hey, what about the renovations in 160? And everybody said, well, it took too long. What? But nonetheless, she persisted and the renovations in 160 were done. They finished them last week, so 160 has been renovated and looks very nice.
Train class. You went?
No, 160, the train.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So that's that.
There's.
So what y'all gonna do up here?
We already did this up here. What you
Well, that's
mean?
what I thought.
Yeah.
Well, what else you gonna do? Okay, so 160, what did you do?
The same thing, paint, new floors, new kitchen cabinets, and I think that's about it.
Any, thing else, Linda?
No, ma'am.
There's whole business when personnel's.
Yeah, you just, that was you. You leave, no more new business.
Old business and legal might fall under the same category. For Arthur, just giving an update on the case.
Yeah, so as you all recall, there's a legal challenge to the county council districting. There may be one on the state level too, as they'll kind of work that out, as you may have heard. So, you know, my office has been working closely with Wendy, and um, and she's been submitted to depositions, and the case is scheduled to go in front of court for determination a week from Wednesday on the 18th. Wait, that's not the 18th. 14th. So it's the 14th. So I don't know what's going to happen. But you know, right now it's going to be in the hands of the court system to see if the way that the district is laid out was done correctly or not. If it was not part of the reason, again, they're not suing you as a board or Wendy personally, is that part of the reason is they need this board to be able to adjust on the fly, to be able to stay on time with the upcoming primary and in general. So, you know, we'll see. Fortunately, also, you know, there's a lot of vacancies that have been taking place on the county council level. Fortunately, it's all appointments, and you don't have to worry about any adjustment. Fortunately or unfortunately, however you want to look at it.
Fortunately.
Fortunately for us, yeah.
Yeah. So that, you know, so we'll see what happens. You know, they scheduled the trial, like I said, for the 14th, for a couple of days. So, and Wendy probably will not have to be there. I think they probably told you to be on call just in case. Yeah, they need to have you come testify, but otherwise, it's the county, versus the group that's indicating that they want to make sure that the apportionment within the districts are correct. So we'll find out.
Do you have, I know this is, have you been like thrown around your head if we do have to make any changes on the fly?
That's the main questions they're asking her.
Right.
You know, they want to know, okay, what does that mean? Even the judge wants to know, you know, is it possible? Because if it's not possible, this whole thing may be moot.
Right.
Here. So do we have the support of the state board of elections? And for them to go along with the fact that if this late date, we can't really, we don't have the flexibility to make changes.
They know we don't have the flexibility. As far as support, I don't know what support there could be. I know Arthur's been working with the AG for the state with this case, but I mean, if they side with the plaintiffs, then we have no choice but to do the districts, or, you know, to redo the stuff.
And you still may have one on the state level.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
When they go back into legislation.
Yeah.
14. The state has weighed in on their not opinion, but they did the same thing I did as far as state taxes when stuff is due. And that's all. You know, you have to make a determination on that and see if it can be done.
Getting time is essence.
Yeah. And we have said that.
Are you familiar with the case that went to court before the last election, referencing, I guess it was, I don't want to say it, where we were challenged in terms of the redistricting. We realized that we wasn't the case that we won heavily, and we weren't very, very strong in that case. We almost lost that case.
My predecessor here, an attorney for the county, and the county hired him outside to try to handle this matter. he's very familiar with that, and that will help, in the determination of what they ultimately going to decide.
I wonder how that's gonna impact redistricting in terms of, when we have the, census.
But
Yeah,
When we do the census, that's what we had always used as the most legal, strong criteria. I mean, I know it's shaky, but it's legal, the criteria. So, and we didn't do well with that case. I mean, when we used it, and now we come up with something we've never used before, and we're gonna, this is the best thing since sliced bread.
well, I mean, again, the governor is on one side, the speaker is on the other, so, and from the same party, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen.
But he wasn't familiar with that case. I mean, he may be familiar with the case, but he wasn't in office at that time.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What would happen? So let's say it goes against all of us, whatever. And you come to the conclusion that you cannot then meet all the required dates and work that needs to be done. How do they run the June election? Or do they just consider, or they just, who knows what they consider? But anyway, if you come to a point where you say, no, the June election cannot occur if if the county loses the case, don't you think the judge would be swayed with that? I mean, would see, unless he hates you.
I think the judge would just say, make it happen, you know.
Yeah, well, first of all, it's not directed at Wendy, y'all. It's not directed at her, so you're not gonna hate her,
No, I know that. I know that. I was joking.
But as you recall, the last date got moved. I forget the reason, but so the court can move the date.
Place where they could go in secret.
Yeah.
So they would theoretically move to a date where it is theoretically possible.
Yeah.
And there is a fair amount of days between June and November.
wow.
But then you impact who's running for the candidates, because
I don't disagree.
once you pick somebody in primary, they only have until November to make their case, so we'll have the election in October instead.
Yeah, I get that.
So when we started this, I did, put it in the table. If this does, play out in their favor, and let's just say hypothetically, the election is moved. And let's just say it's moved to August or even late August. The general election date is not changing.
It's staying the same.
Exactly.
So that time frame in between primary and general now becomes shorter.
Right.
And it's not like it's a special election. This is, these are full elections, so. Keep it in mind.
Anything else, Mr.? Primaries for everybody, not just for this one person.
Right, yeah.
One district.
It'll have to change for the
So
state.
you can have 20 people running, well, I guess he's only running for re-election, but he could have someone running against him or something.
He's not running for me. He's not, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So we need to look at a date for the next meeting?
No, probably, I don't know if anybody else had anything else to say. Before we end.
February.
Go ahead. All right, we'll look at dates for February. February.
February 2nd.
2-2. 2-2.
2226.
All in favor?
Who made the motion?
Carried it. Who said that? Okay. All in favor? I have, and I say opposed, I don't say, okay, fine. All right.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I'm on the town clerk. They're no friends.
Yeah.
I'm. She's up now, yes, she is.